What's up, guys? Just finished a run here. It's kind of a cool morning this morning, cloudy today. Thought I'd take advantage of the cooler weather to go for a nice jog this morning. Not that I'm complaining about the warm weather. I'm absolutely in love with the fact that the weather is starting to warm up again and I can wear shorts and tank tops outside without freezing my butt off. So that's great. But anyways, I went for a run for this morning, and I have the intention of doing a coaching video for you guys when I got back home, but I decided, I don't know, I'm feeling like doing it right now outside. So, as you guys know, I am a life coach / health coach, which means that, my niche is sort of working with people on creating a positive self-image and how that relates to having a positive body image, and then creating, healthy living habits from there. But I work with people on all sorts of things, from relationship issues to, issues with finding peace in amidst their anxiety, all sorts of things. But really where I shine, like where my zone of genius is in working with people that struggle with their physical self-image as well as their, emotional self-image of themselves as a person. And, so today's video, sorry guys, there's this huge truck on the running trail for some reason, I don't know why. But so the video this morning is twofold. We're going to talk a little bit about emotional health, but how it relates to a subject of physical health. So as you guys know, I am a huge advocate of eating ketogenic, and I want to explain why, because I feel like the ketogenic diet has gone through one of these fad diet things that every diet goes through, where they start off with great intentions and then people abuse them, and then people use the way that they abused the diet as a way to shame the diet, when really it's not the diet itself or the way of eating itself, it's the way that people are using it that's really having the negative impact. So I always say that I think eating ketogenic is the natural human diet. Let me give a little caveat to this though. When I say eating ketogenic, I don't mean always eating extremely high fat and extremely low carbohydrate. What I mean is that in general, a higher fat diet and a lower carbohydrate diet, the body thrives on. And in certain phases of the year or throughout lifetime, it's okay to have a higher number of carbohydrates in your diet, but they need to come from whole foods. So with that, I have some news to give you guys, but I've been kind of holding back on doing it because, first of all, I wanted to see how it went with me, and second of all, I wasn't sure how I wanted to preface the information, because I know people tend to take dieting always to an extreme. It's either one extreme or the other. They can't, like everything in life, we can't find a middle ground. It always has to be, oh no, it's either black or it's white. So I'm going to go into the gray area with you guys here and show you how I've been sort of playing around with the gray area and how it's actually benefited me. So I started doing a cyclical ketogenic diet. What that means is that I have days where I cycle carbohydrates in. Because I was really, really low in weight. I wanted to stop losing weight, and the more strict I was on the ketogenic diet, the more I was losing weight. So I tried two different paths here. At one point in time, I tried, like, on my carb cycling day to have like a cheat meal with my husband and we have a pizza together. And the next day I would feel like crap. I mean, like total crap. And I was like, oh my God, this is why I don't eat carbs. But then I would get to this point where it was like, I don't want to say that I had cravings for carbs, but like, guys, this is where I say it's so important for you to be in touch with your body. It's very, very important. And in order to be in touch with your body, you have to slow down enough to listen to it. And I've been doing a lot of meditating and presence work and breath work and things just to bring me into my body and really listening to it and to my voice of intuition. And I was just having days where my body was like, Seth, I hate to break it to you, but I think you need a little bit of carbohydrate. And so I was like, okay, so how in the world can I work some carbohydrates in without feeling like crap? So I started playing around with just maybe increasing the amount of vegetables that I ate. And then I started playing around with adding in some more starchy vegetables like sweet potatoes, because they're low lectin, high carbohydrate, but they're also very nutrient dense, unlike regular white potatoes. or throwing in, maybe a little bit of a little piece of fruit or something. And guys, everything sort of started taking off again. My body started being like, yeah, that's what we need. This is what we want right here. Eating ketogenic, we feel full of energy and we have the mental clarity and the digestion feels good. But, I am very active. I run, I'm in the gym, I'm training people. And I think with as thin as I am, and as low as my body fat percentage is, with my particular body, eating strict ketogenic all of the time just really doesn't serve me. So, but that is not to say that I don't think eating ketogenic is good. So hear me out on this. For my body, this is what works. And this is why I keep saying it is so important to tune in, check in with your body and see what it's telling you that it needs. And you're not going to be able to tune into it if you are so busy stuffing your face and snacking and eating processed foods, because these mess with your hunger hormones, your satiety hormones, and they teach you to eat more emotionally versus intuitively. So if you think you're just gonna be calm one day and sit down on the couch and check in with your body after spending all day yesterday eating pizza and potato chips and seeing what your body needs, it's not gonna work. You've got to get on a whole food diet first before you're even going to be able to recognize what it is that your body needs. Because right now, your body is so confused about what is food and what it's doing in your body. It can't tell you what it needs. It doesn't even know what it needs right now. Whole foods, people. Our society has evolved so much more rapidly than we have physically as human beings. Our bodies, some of the foods that, quote unquote, foods that we are putting on our bodies really have no idea what they are. And so it doesn't know how to tell us if we've had enough of it or not enough of it, or if we want more or if we need more, or if, no, stop, I've had enough. Our bodies don't know because it doesn't even recognize half of this stuff as food. It just knows, okay, there's some carbohydrate in here, some crazy oil that I don't know what the hell this is, and I don't even know what, but okay, so I can use this for energy, but I don't know how much of it I need. Like, our bodies are designed evolutionarily to eat whole foods, natural foods. When we eat those things, our body recognizes these things. It knows what they are, it knows what to do with it, it knows how much of it we need. And it will create cravings for these foods based on what we need. But until you clean out your diet and start eating whole foods, your body doesn't know. So, going back to eating ketogenic, I've had a couple of clients tell me that they're starting to see stories of people that were ketogenic coaches that are now switching to a high carb, low fat diet, and they wanted to know why. And guys, I checked into several of these, and I'm reading about a lot of the people that are starting to come out and say that the ketogenic diet is dangerous and why, and because they tried it. And guys, every single one of them that I looked into, I was looking at how they were approaching the ketogenic diet, and it was strictly for vanity. It was strictly for body image. Like, they wanted to get super lean because they hated their body. They thought it was disgusting. They wanted a diet that was going to make them look good. That's what they wanted. They wanted to be, appealing. And that's why they were eating this way. And guys, if you are approaching a way of eating from this perspective, then basically the perspective that you're coming from is such negative self-talk. So if you have this amount of negative self-talk where basically you're telling your body that it needs fixed, that it's gross, that we have to eat this way and we have to do it strictly because if we don't, we're not going to look the right way, and if we don't look the right way, people won't like us, and you start having all of this negative chatter. Guys, no matter how you eat, if you have that kind of thinking, it's eventually going to come back and bite you in the butt, because you're doing things not from figuring out what your body needs. You're doing it from the perspective of, I hate my body, or I dislike my body. Either way, it's negative, and I need it to change so that I can accept it. So yeah, anyways, so this is where I think the aspect of the mental health and physical health come into play together. So a lot of people think that they're completely separate issues. Like, you deal with one and then you deal with the other one separately. But guys, they play hand in hand so much. Because if you could be eating, for instance, like, I think that eating ketogenic is the best way to serve the human body. That's like what our bodies are designed to do. Morgan. And the reason why I say this is because if you look at the anatomy of the human body, our bodies can store hold on, I have a rock in the bottom of my shoe. Our bodies can store infinite amounts of fat. So obviously that tells you that is our body's preferred energy source. And there are some doctors out there that'll be like, oh yeah, well we can also store carbohydrates. That's true. But here's the thing about storing carbohydrates that they're not saying is that the amount of carbohydrate you can store is based on your activity level. You have to stress muscles and then overload them with carbohydrates to get them to store it as glycogen. If you're not stressing the muscles, then you are not going to be storing, the less exercise you do, the less glycogen you can store. So the capacity to store glycogen, which is stored carbohydrate, is directly related to how active you are. So this is why like some athletes can get by with eating more carbohydrates without gaining weight. And that's because they have larger capacity to store glycogen. But the majority of people are not athletes, so they don't need this much carbohydrate to store in their body because they're not using it. Your body uses carbohydrate for very specific things, and there are very few things. I've got to turn around again. This truck is still here. There are very few activities in the body that require carbohydrate to be completed, and other than like intense physical activity, which by the way, your body can adapt to using fat to do those intense physical activities if you stay off carbohydrates long enough. But most people don't give it enough time to go through that adaptation period to realize that. So they use that as an excuse. Oh, well, you can't do intense activity without carbohydrate. Bull crap. Here's the other thing. Fats. Essential fats exist. That means there are fats that we have to consume that our body needs because it cannot make it on its own. Proteins, essential amino acids. There are amino acids that we consume that we have to consume because if we don't consume them, our body cannot make them on their own, and they need them. Carbohydrates. There are no essential carbohydrates. The only things that your body needs carbohydrates for, it can break down proteins, it can break down fatty acids, and turn them into carbohydrate for those purposes. Yeah, did you know that? It's a process called gluconeogenesis. Your body can create carbohydrate from non-carbohydrate substrates in the body when it, quote unquote, needs it. So stop lying to yourself, thinking that you need to eat a high carbohydrate diet because your body needs glucose. The small amount of glucose that it requires, it can make on its own. It cannot, however, make all of the fats and proteins that it needs on its own. This is why I say eating a ketogenic diet is the optimal human diet, because we're not cutting out all carbohydrates, we're just restricting them. Because let's face it, carbohydrates are used for our body to store energy. So if we're not wanting to store energy, if we have all this fat stored on our body that we're trying to use, we don't need our body to be in storage mode. We want to be using what we've stored, right? Because why else is it there if it's just going to sit there? And then, you know, constantly raising the insulin and then telling your body to store all the time, and then you're not using it. This is how we start creating insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Morgan. So basically what I'm trying to say, for these reasons, and another reason I'm going to get into, okay, people that are into this low-fat diet craze, thinking like because we're storing body fat and that's the problem, well, obviously if we eat low-fat, we're going to store less fat. Bull crap, because I eat a high-fat diet and I struggle to store fat unless I consume carbohydrates. So that is not true. Eating fat does not cause your body to store fat. So anyways, here's the other thing. For people to say that fat is dangerous for the body, that it causes heart disease, that it causes all of these disorders, if you've ever gone through a basic level human biology class in college or even in high school, our cells, the outside layer of the cells are made by a lipid bilayer. Okay? They're phospholipids that make up the outside of all of our cells. Do you know what that means? The outside of the cell has a little protein that is hydrophilic, meaning it likes water, and then it has a tail on the inside that's hydrophobic, and then it's backed up to another tail of another phospholipid that is hydrophobic, and then on the inside of the cell is another protein that's hydrophilic, meaning it likes water. So what does that do? It controls the amount of water that can come in and out of the cell, because it can't get inside the membrane because the membrane is hydrophobic. It does not like water. It's made of fat. So guys, every cell in our body, the integrity of it, the ability for it to be able to hold its organelles inside and for it to be able to function as a cell, it requires fat. Okay? So to say that our body doesn't need fat and that it prefers carbohydrate, the majority of our body is water and fat. So This is so absurd to me to think that we should not be eating fat when the majority, like all of our cells, the outside layer of the cells is made from fat. Where's our body going to make this fat from? Okay, so that makes absolutely no sense. Also, the majority of the research that they're doing where they're trying to say, fat causes heart disease, fat causes all of this damage in the human body, they're doing it on populations that are not eating low carbohydrate. So they're taking populations and telling them to consume lots of fatty red meats, lots of butter, lots of lard, blah, 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 and then measuring their heart disease. But they're not changing anything else about these people's diets. So, okay, yeah, they're eating all of this fat and they're getting heart disease and they're blaming it on the fat, but they're not even looking at the fact that these people are also eating all of this unnatural crap along with it, like processed bread and, French fries, all of these processed carbohydrates, sugar, sodas, all of these other things, cigarettes, all of this other crap that they're consuming on the side, but they're going to blame it on the fat. If we go back to the prehistoric, or not prehistoric, like the ages when we were hunter-gatherers, and we look at what the human diet would have been, the majority of it would have had to have been fat and protein, because we would have only had fruits and vegetables available to us during a short period of time of the year. So guys, to say that the human body is not supposed to be consuming proteins from animals and fats from animals is absolutely absurd. Guys, we are taking societal advances and using them to say what we should be doing on a biological level in our bodies. Guys, our bodies have not biologically evolved that fast. Not as fast as our society is. You need to start paying attention to that. Stop listening to all this crap about how these, low-fat, high-carbohydrate foods that are processed are good for your body. Guys, they are not natural foods. And our body does not recognize them as foods. There's no way that our body could. It takes thousands upon thousands of years for foods to be recognized by the human body as something that we should and could be eating and it knows how to handle. And guys, these processed foods haven't even been around for maybe 100 years? Maybe-ish? Guys, that's not enough time for our bodies to adapt to it. And we're acting like, because this food's been around since the 1970s, obviously it's safe to eat. Really? This food was created in the some of these processed oils that we consume in these, low-fat, high-carb foods that were basically oils that came from the industry. Like they used to use them to lubricate machines, and then they were trying to figure out a way to, put, these processed fats because they're cheap to make into the foods that they're trying to make low-fat so that people aren't eating saturated animal fats, but to make them shelf-stable. So they started using machine lubricant and turning it into food. Guys, come on. There's so much craziness surrounding this. Anyways, I went down a huge rabbit hole there. So guys, basically what I'm trying to say is this. I think that eating the way of eating a ketogenic diet is the most natural way for our bodies to eat. Because what the ketogenic diet actually says, not what all of the mainstream is saying with all of these ketogenic snacks and processed ketogenic foods, like these little keto bombs and fat gels and all this crap to make it easy to get into ketosis. Guys, when are we going to learn that easy usually means that it's not natural, it's not good for our body? Eat whole foods. High healthy fat, low carbohydrate whole foods. How in the world can you argue that a diet like this can be unhealthy when everything, if you eat ketogenic in the proper way, everything that you are eating is a natural food? It came from nature. So you're telling me that a diet that is full of a bunch of ground up, processed, bleached, I don't even know what processes some of these foods go through to kind of look like food and taste like food and be palatable. You're telling me that's better for the human body and more natural for the human body than whole foods that I can find out in nature? I don't understand the argument. But here's the other caveat that I want you guys to get from what I'm saying here. If you are eating a certain way, thinking that eating a certain way is going to fix your body, and I don't mean like if you're obviously feeling unhealthy and you're not feeling well, so you want to change your diet to feel well, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about are these people that look in the mirror and they think that their body is disgusting, so they go on a diet because they want to change the way their body appears, because their body is unacceptable to them. Or they want people to find them attractive because they think that they're not attractive. If you are approaching a diet or exercise regimen from this perspective, then what is going to end up happening is you are going to create so much negative energy in the body that the body is going to fight back and resist. I've never seen someone successfully hate themselves to health. It will not happen. You cannot hate yourself to health. You have to look at your body exactly where it is, learn to love it, because it's there because of things that we have done, and it was trying to survive. It wasn't trying to kill you. It wasn't trying to ruin your life. Your body was trying to survive with the crap you were putting in your mouth for so long, and the negative energy you were feeding to it, and the stress and the lack of sleep and the medications and the alcohol and all of this stuff. Your body was just trying to figure out a way to survive as long as possible like this. And it developed into some things that you're looking in the mirror now and you don't like, but it doesn't mean your body's broken. It means it's amazing that your body figured out a way to survive for this long. The fat that's on your body right now, instead of thinking that's disgusting and your body's trying to ruin your life, your body was trying to store energy and save its life because you were putting it through so much stress. It was like, oh my God, this must be something horrible going on in the environment. We need to store as much energy as possible because otherwise this person's going to die. Your body was trying to save you. So if you are coming at your eating protocol or your exercise protocol from a perspective of my body is disgusting and I need to fix it, you cannot hate yourself to health. You have to start exactly where you are, know where you are and why you got there. And it wasn't because your body was trying to destroy you. And the behaviors that you were exhibiting that got your body to that point, you don't even need to hate those because you were doing what you thought you needed to do to protect yourself. Sure, it presented itself as some negative health in your body, but you didn't know. You didn't know that needing to stay up all night and do all this work and stress your body out and take these medications to stay awake and to fight depression and to fight anxiety and, drink this caffeine and drink this alcohol to calm down at night and then drink this caffeine in the morning to wake yourself back up and then drink this alcohol at night to calm back down. You didn't know that doing all of this was creating all of this hormone chaos in your body and then causing your body to not know what to do with energy, store it, release it. I don't know. Are we stressed out? Are we safe? Are we not safe? You did not know that you were creating this in your body because our society tells us this is normal life now. And guys, what I'm here to offer is the fact that the way that we have been taught to live is not normal life. It's not. Somehow we have bought into this illusion because we're not looking back far enough at where we came from to see what natural life would look like in a human being. And so we're buying into this illusion, this lie of needing to buy and have things and to be successful and have money and work to be at the top and be the best and succeed, achieve. We're buying into that, and then we're believing that we have to live these constantly active, stressful, productive, quote unquote, lives. And our bodies aren't designed to do that. They aren't. They are not. But until we figure out as a society how to get out of this loop that we've created of capitalism and consumerism, until we figure out how to get out of that, we've got to figure out a way to take this down a notch and at least bring our bodies back to health, guys. Because until we get our bodies back to health, we're not going to be able to figure out what it is that we need to change to fix what's going on in our society. So, guys, I unloaded a lot on you this morning in this video, but basically the message I want you to take from this: if you want to bring your body back to health, it has to start with the mental health. Because if you just start shifting the exercise, shifting the eating, and that's another thing, you can't out-exercise a bad diet. So if you think you're just going to keep eating all of this crap because it feels good, because you're feeding your emotions, you're not feeding your body, you're feeding your emotions. If you think you're going to be able to keep doing that and just out-exercise it, guys, exercise was not designed to lose weight. Exercise is designed to give the body movement because that's what it needs, and it likes that. It keeps tissue healthy, turning over, regenerating itself, getting stronger. That's what exercise is for. It's not to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, you have to change the way you're eating. And if you want to lose weight, then you need to figure out why it is that you want to lose the weight. It's not because your body's disgusting, because it stored fat. If your body stored fat, it was doing what it thought it needed to do to survive. It was reading the signals you were giving to it and thinking, okay, oh my God, we're under a ton of stress, so something must be really wrong here. We should probably store some energy. your body wasn't trying to ruin your life. So start there. You have to start with the mental health aspect. You have to get your thinking into alignment with a healthy self before you're going to be able to physically bring your body into alignment with health. You can't align a body with health if it is so full of negative thinking and negative energy, because it's all you're doing is resisting reality. And like I said, you cannot hate yourself to health. Hate never breeds health, mentally or physically. So guys, if you're seeing these people out here in the diet industry, the health industry, and they're confusing the crap out of you, because one minute one of them is saying, oh, the ketogenic diet is the best, do this, and then the next minute they're like, oh, I ran into this and this problem on the ketogenic diet and gained all this weight and blah, 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 blah. I guarantee if you go back and look at how they were approaching, the way that they were doing the eating and the exercising, they were overdoing it, because what they were trying to do was resist their reality of what was going on with their body, and they were trying to hate their body to health. They were trying to restrict their body to health, basically like trying to, or restrict their body to health, and this doesn't work. Guys, do we need to restrict the amount of crap and processed food we're putting in our mouths? Absolutely. But guys, once you start eating a whole food diet, you know what I've realized? Is that when I feel hungry on a whole food diet, I'm actually hungry. When I eat when I feel hungry on a whole food diet, I don't feel like crap. I don't gain a bunch of weight. I don't have digestion issues. I don't, eat to the point that I feel so stuffed that I'm miserable. Because when I'm eating a whole food diet, when my body says it's hungry, it's actually hungry. I'm feeding my body, not my emotions. Because I'm not giving my body all of these crazy unfamiliar hormone spikes all over the place, because I'm eating all these foods that it can't figure out what it is, but all of a sudden there's carbohydrate in the body. Like, where did that come from? So guys, whole foods are one of the most important things you can do for your diet. But before you even consider switching to a diet that is going to, or switching to a way of eating, I don't even like using the word diet, switching to a way of eating that's going to serve your body, you have to first switch to a way of thinking that serves your body. Because if you try and switch up the eating before you switch up the thinking, your body is going to be sending you all sorts of crazy chaotic signals about when it's hungry, when it's not hungry, because it's confused. It's so confused by your stressful thinking and your hatred of it, and your body doesn't trust you. It's like trying to be in a relationship with someone that only tells you all the time what's wrong with you. Are you going to ever feel comfortable in a relationship with that person? No. Well, most of us have that relationship with our bodies. We're constantly telling our bodies how disgusting they are, how broken they are, how much they need fixed, and how much we hate them. It's no wonder that your body doesn't know what the hell to do with you, what you want. It's kind of all over the place and telling you to eat your emotions, because it's like, I don't even know anymore what you want. Just eat some food. Maybe that'll help. You seem to calm down when you eat food. Eat some food, and we'll just store it over here with all the rest of this that we've stored. So guys, mental health affects the efficacy of any exercise or eating protocol. So if I can get that message into you guys today, I know I've rambled on and on about a bunch of different things, but guys, this message is so multifaceted. I needed to explain every aspect of it so you guys could understand where I'm coming from when I say this. Mental health, your thinking will affect how any eating protocol or exercise protocol that you try and take on are going to affect your body. If you're not getting the mental health down, then no matter, I've seen people go onto a ketogenic diet and they start feeling really, really good, and then the next thing they know, their body is falling apart and they're feeling like crap. And that's how I can usually tell when someone does this and they come back to me and they're like, I don't understand what's going on with my body. I was eating this healthy way like you told me to, and now like I'm having this and this and this issue. And 100% of the time when I look into it, it's because they've developed a negative thinking pattern. They went into eating the quote unquote healthy way with the idea that they were going to fix their disgusting body. And they may not use that exact language, disgusting, but it's something like, oh, well, if I could just get rid of this little bit of fat right here, my body will look good. Right now it doesn't look good. Right now it's not good enough. Even small amounts of this negative thinking constantly they play a toll on your body and how your body perceives its reality and how it's going to accept the food that you're eating, the exercise that you're giving it. If you're in a state of stress and you go out and exercise, guys, your body doesn't know the difference between wanting to exercise and run away from a dinosaur. So guys, mental health first. Mental health first. First. I can't say that enough times. Get a coach. Before you go join a gym, before you start trying out this new diet craze, get your thinking right. Get in there and work with what in the world caused your dysfunctional exercise and eating patterns in the first place. Figure that out first before you start trying to fix those things. Because it's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. It's like, you have all of this bleeding and there's a cause of it inside, but you're not wanting to find the cause of it. You just want to stop the bleeding for a little bit so you can carry on with your dysfunctional ways of doing everything without having to look at it. If you don't get to the source of the problem, it will just keep coming back. So, mental health first. Mental health will be the key to the success of any exercise or eating protocol that you try and take on. That's all I have to say. Guys, huge message for you, long video. Obviously, this will not be on Instagram television. I don't apologize for the rambling. I had a lot to say about this morning. And guys, I could go on for probably another day about this. Because there's so much going on with this topic and people want to ignore the emotional health aspect of it. They want to believe that they can just hate their body to health, that they can ignore all of the pain that they have, that they're carrying around inside, that comes from their thinking. They want to think that, like, oh, well, if I just fix my body, that'll all go away. No. The reason your body feels like, quote unquote, it needs fixed is because of the way that you're thinking. And until you change that thinking, no matter how much you change your body, you're still not going to be happy with it. And more than likely, you're going to create more health problems. So, guys, that's all I have for you. I love you all. Don't think I'm judging you if you're someone that struggles with this, guys. I've been there. That's why I'm so passionate about this. That's why I'm going on. And that's why it sounds like maybe I'm ranting. Maybe it sounds a little bit like I'm angry. I'm not angry, guys. I am so passionate about this subject because I know what it feels like to struggle with this, guys. I did it for so long. I created so many different health issues in my own body by trying to hate it to health. So, guys, if you think that I can't relate to you, that I can't understand why it is that you need to exercise, you need to eat right, but you still find yourself sitting on the couch with a whole bag of potato chips and finishing it up with a tub of ice cream and watching Netflix, even though you need to get off of the couch and exercise or want to get off of the couch and exercise, if you think I can't understand that and relate to it, you are wrong. I know exactly what that feels like because I've been there before. I might not have gotten up to 200, 300, 400 pounds, but I've been in that position where I've been sitting on the couch and knowing what was good for my body, what would feel good, what my body needed and wanted, and sitting there with a bag of potato chips and a tub of ice cream and watching television and wallowing in my sorrows and wondering why I feel like crap. So guys, don't think for 1 second that I cannot relate to where you are or that I'm judging you for where you are. I'm not judging you. I want to help. I want to help because I want you to see that you have power in this situation. You are not out of control. You are not broken. You are not, a mess. There's nothing wrong with you. You've just believed some truths, quote unquote truths, that aren't serving you anymore. And you're making this your reality. And I want to teach you that you have the power to unlearn that. You have the power to create new thoughts, new habits. You have that in you. And I want to show you that. I want to teach you how to use it to get back to where it is that you feel good about yourself again. Because it's not going to come from an external source. It's not going to come from the bag of potato chips. It's not going to come from the ice cream. It's not going to come from setting down the bag of potato chips or the ice cream and getting skinny. That's not where it's going to come from. Where it's going to come from is starting to realize your worth, your value, your lovability, your amazingness, owning that, and then coming into the world with all of that love, all of that compassion, all of that strength, all of that confidence of who you are to create the reality that you want for you. That's where it's going to come from. So, guys, mental health first. Last time I'm going to say it. You guys have a great day, long video. I hope you all enjoy it, and I will talk to you again soon. Ciao.